gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are also live on Facebook and YouTube, viewers. You can check us out on Facebook. It's Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Remember to like and share our page, viewers. So if you're on the go and you can't reach home in time to watch Real Talk on Synergy Television, you can always check us out on Facebook. Also on YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, viewers, and you will know when we go live. Remember that Trinidad and Tobago. So, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has welcomed 2 new members to her government.
I, David Naked, do swear by the Holy Quran and by Allah the Almighty that I will bear true faith and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago
and will uphold the Constitution and the law, and that I will conscientiously, impartially, and to the best of my ability
discharge my duties as Parliamentary Secretary,
as Minister, and do all right to all manner of people without fear or favor, affection, or ill will.
Attorney Darrell Allaha has been appointed as Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, while former Senator David Naked has been sworn in as a Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. Allaha brings a wealth of legal expertise to his new role, having previously served as the chairman of the United National Congress Election Management Committee. His extensive experience in legal affairs is expected to be instrumental in advising the government's agenda. Speaking to the media after the swearing-in ceremony, Secretary Naked said he will use the opportunity to transform sports within the community.
I'll go to front by saying that I intend to use this opportunity to transform sport within our communities. We've seen sport merely as a hobby and a by issue. It's going to be front and center in how we transform, especially the East-West Corridor and the underserved communities in the rural areas.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, David Naked was a former footballer of Trinidad and Tobago, I believe, right? So with him now, knowing how sports is in and around the world, let's hope he bring a relief to the sporting community in Trinidad and Tobago. It doesn't matter if it's fishing, cricket, boat racing, car racing, motorbike racing, cycling, whatever sports that is there in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's hope he can transform, encourage, and change the entire sporting arena for Trinidad and Tobago. Put us on the world maps, you know, CONCACAF games, Olympics game, put us on the map. So we want to wish these 2 ministers the best in their office and performance also, which I Saeed will be looking at. Now, he said, sports can be used to transform communities and economies, and said, this is what he will work towards. So viewers, let's see if he can change sports. Now, I'll tell you something, sport cannot fix crime. You could be the best sportsman and they could catch you in crime, because we have seen it. We have seen it, cricketers, illegal firearm. We have seen footballers with illegal stuff. You understand? It is making headline. It is making headline. But nevertheless, we want to wish Naked and Allaha all the best in their ministries. Congratulations again. The spotlight will be on the Red House in Port of Spain on Friday, 23rd May 2025 at 1:30 p.m. during the launch of the first session of the 13th Parliament. President Christine Kangaloo issued the legal notice of the proclamation for the start of the new term of the Parliament following the April 20th general election. The proclamation also allows any member, if necessary, to attend a sitting virtually, while in Trinidad and Tobago, with the prior approval of the Speaker of the House of Representatives or the President of the Senate. Both the Senate and the House of Representatives will first meet in a respective South and North Chamber, where the new Senate President and new Speaker of the House of Representatives will take their position. Members of each House will also take their respective oath of office, 31 in the Senate and 41 in the House of Representatives. Former UNC Senate leader Wade Mag has recently been tipped to become Senate President, according to source. If that is true, we want to wish him all the best, Trinidad and Tobago, in whatever he goes forward with. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has stated during the period between February 2024 to May 2025, a total of $135 million in property tax has been collected. She listed various corporations and their total of property tax paid, such as Arima with $3.9 million, Shogunas with $11.5 million, among others. Listen to this.
Property tax. The property tax collections for the period from February 29, 2024 to May 2025, this is just one period, 2024 February to May this year, 2025. Total payment received for each corporation, I'll read them for you. Arima Borough Corporation, $3.9 million. Shogunas Borough Corporation, $11.5 million. Kuva Tabaki Talparo Corporation, $16.7 million. Diego Martin Regional Corporation, $16.9 million. Pinal Debe Corporation, $10.8 million. Point Fortin Borough Corporation, $1.7 million. Port of Spain City Corporation, $4.38 million. Princeton Corporation, $7.5 million. Rio Claro Mayaro Corporation, $1.6 million. San Fernando City Corporation, $11.3 million. Samuel Laventil Corporation, $12.1 million. Sandy Grande Regional Corporation, $3.3 million. Sapara Regional Corporation, $6 million. Tobago House of Assembly, $4.07 million. This is the amount of property tax received for in just this one year.
Now, viewers, the PM said she warned the persons against paying property tax. Listen to this, we'll blag after.
Yeah. And February 24 to May 2025. Tunapuna Corporation, $23.2 million. Okay, so this is received by the government. People went and paid their property tax, and I told them, don't pay it. I warned people, do not pay this property tax. But if you want to pay, pay. It's a free country. So this is what they paid. A total of $135 million in property tax. Collected. 135.6 million collected. Again, I said I warn people, don't pay it. You decide to pay it, that is on you.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. Can Colin Imbert tell the nation what he did with $135 million of property tax money? Can Colin Imbert come and tell the nation how they spent $135 million? What they did with it? Where did they allocate the money to? I am definitely sure you would like to know what the former administration did with $135 million of taxpayers' money. Or let's just say property tax money. Where did it go? Did the box rate in your community fix? The savannah in your community, was it taken care of? how much money was allocated to corporations throughout Trinidad and Tobago. This is what I would love Clungenbert to come out and tell the nation what he did with $135 million of property tax money. I would love to hear what he did with that. Honestly, I would love to hear what he did with it, where it went, and I am sure you would love to know the same thing. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, nevertheless, the money have been collected, and as the saying goes, wean off the government. Remember, Dr. Rowley used to tell you all that, wean off the government. A review of policies surrounding the compensation of farmers who suffered crop loss due to flooding is currently underway. A statement was made by Agriculture Minister Ravi Ratiram, who reported that 20 farmers in South Trinidad and over 30 in North have been affected by recent flooding caused by persistent rainfall. He said the figures were last updated on Tuesday. Ratiram stated that the ministry does not yet have monetary estimates for the loss of farmers, or the loss that farmers have suffered. Listen to this.
We have been going out into the communities and meeting with these farmers. So that is something, as soon as we get hands on that information, we will share it with the public, we will share it with the media.
Now viewers, commenting on the compensation policy, Ratiram claimed he is dissatisfied and his ministry is reviewing the whole concept of how farmers' loss is treated. Ratiram.
As it exists at this point in time, we cannot just compensate farmers based on that draconian system, because after farmers spend behind the preparation of land, chemicals, fertilizers, labor to cultivate their crop, farmer getting like 50 cents and 75 cents for a bearing plant. That's unfortunate. So it is something that we are reviewing, we are revisiting this, and we definitely from the Ministry of Agriculture will be taking something to Cabinet to treat and to address with going forward with how it is we respond to these unfortunate situations.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, over the last few days that it have been raining in our country, it caused flood in several parts of Trinidad and Tobago. And we have seen ministers, not actually ministers maybe, but corporation individuals, councillors on the ground. They were actually outside getting wet. Some with excavators, some with backhoe. I have seen that. I have seen that in the last few days gone by. They were assisting their communities. Now listen to this. Ratiram, he said, ministers under the UNC government has been on the ground. And we have seen that on social media posts for the last few days gone by. Listen to this.
We saw for ourselves what was happening, the blockages, the flooding, and we met with farmers. It's really unfortunate and sad that when I went to Arangwes, south, I met this farmer who was in tears. He was crying because all your savings, all your investment, all your resources, your time, your energy, it's like blood, sweat, and tears just going down the drain.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. There are 250 kilometers of agricultural watercourse, which is not maintained by the local government and works ministry. Ratiram said this was an issue that the previous administration failed to address. Ratiram.
250 kilometers of watercourse wasn't maintained. So we need citizens to get involved, to provide us with that help, with that advice, with that feedback, and also in terms of acting in a responsible manner as we go ahead, because while we clean these water courses, if it is that garbage and bulk waste end up in our water courses, it is something that can also add and contribute towards the flooding situation.
Now viewers, with all the rainfall in the last few days and the flooding throughout parts of Trinidad and Tobago, the Met Office says tomorrow, being Friday, will likely be general, sunny, hazy and breezy, with the likelihood of showers over a few areas. A significant concentration of Sahara dust will be present in the atmosphere. Persons sensitive to this change in air quality are expected to take the necessary precautions. The maximum temperature in Trinidad is 32 Celsius, while Tobago will experience a height of 31. Seas remain moderate and waves reaching up to 2 meters in open waters and near 1 meter in sheltered areas. So viewers, with that being said, we are Real Talk with Saieed. We are going for a short commercial break. But before we go for this break, I just want to encourage those of you that have the breathing problem with Sahara dust, remember to wear your mask, walk with your inhalers, and please be careful, because the Sahara dust could cause you short breath. Be careful viewers, we'll be right back after this break.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over, with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, viewers, we at Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. And I like to explain the interest up front and the amount of interest you will be collecting on a fixed deposit. Now, we at Real Talk Financing is the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. That's right, 5%. The highest interest rate that is being paid in any financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is at Real Talk Financing. Now, with the interest up front, this is what I can tell you. When you call our office and you decide to set up an appointment and come and create or invest in a fixed deposit at Real Talk Financing, you will get 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years. And you're going to get your interest up front. What do I mean by interest up front? Now, normally, with a fixed deposit in any financial institution, you will have to wait until your maturity date reaches, which is 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, before you collect your interest. We at Real Talk Financing are offering you your interest up front. So from the date you set your policy with us, 14 days from that day, when all the paperwork is signed off, our office is going to call you and tell you to come in to collect cash or check of the interest on your principal. So if you invest 100,000 with us, just saying it could be any figure. It could be any figure, right? If you invest 100,000 with us for 5 years and your interest is going to come up to $25,000 at the end of 5 years, listen this, you don't have to wait for 5 years to collect your interest. Within 14 days of the date that you signed off on your application, within 14 days of that time frame, the office is going to call you to come and collect your interest. You don't have to wait 5 years or 10 years. No, that is a thing of the past. Other financial institutions are doing that. Not us at Real Talk Financing. Not us. So Trinidad and Tobago, check your banks, your financial institution, and if you are not getting your interest up front, if you are not getting 5% on a fixed deposit, well, here I am to tell you, break it, and the 1% you're getting, it could nowhere compare to what we are paying you. So if you think you are not getting your top dollar for your hard-earned cash on a fixed deposit, let me tell you something, break it, come along to Real Talk Financing, and get your interest up front. It's way more than 1 and 2 and 3%. It's way more. Now back to our news tonight. Minister of Public Utilities Barry Patharat have stated that a lot more work needs to be done by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, which is the ODPM. Patharat states that he is disappointed with the ODPM responsiveness and its ability to provide day-to-day support in mitigating flood, particularly in communities that are often cut off from the rest of the country. The minister also expressed his disappointment with former ministers of public utility Marvin Gonzalez. He said the transformation plan for WASA did little to nothing to improve water production and distribution, as only 27% of Trinidad and Tobago receive a 24/07 water supply.
And therefore, I often find that while they are the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, they are often unprepared. And therefore, that is why I made a quip earlier that I'm not so sure how prepared the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management is.
Now, viewers, he noted that improvement to the Water and Sewerage Authority and water distribution throughout Trinidad and Tobago will improve as they seek to reduce the over-dependency on particularly major water supplies. Patharat stated that his ministry is looking at new source of water, particularly in some of the southern, central, and eastern constituencies.
So what we are looking at is new sources of water, particularly in some of the south, central, and eastern constituencies, because those are the areas of the country that are more rural than others. And therefore, if you invest locally into the communities for water sources, then you would be able to meet the challenges day to day.
The minister said the government will be actively engaging in bringing immediate relief to particular areas over the next few months as they continue exploring infrastructural solutions for water distribution. Kola, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual, man. And it can't get better than that in this country. 5% on fixed deposits, man. I know. But anyway, some young people asked me some questions about, the fixed deposits and so on. So I wanted to bear this in mind. I will probably call you tomorrow or so to get some information on that about fixed deposits and so on, and maybe you could highlight it on your program, because there's a lot of people who is listening and so on, young people listening, and people want to invest.
Yes.
So, but after I discuss it with you, then you will highlight it on your program.
Not a problem.
All right, so it's a great program as usual, man. People want to invest, and this is the way to go. Take your money out, as you said, and put it in Real Talk Credit Union. And just as the government, today, the government, if they continue this way in this country, reporting to the citizens, I am telling you, they're good there for the next 25 years. Where you see the Prime Minister is coming out and telling the citizens about the wrong that took place in this country over the last 10 years. There's no secrecy. This is the citizen money, and she keeps saying this all the time, even on a campaign. Honorable Prime Minister, you and your government good to go for the next 15 to 25 years in this country. And Mr. Said, with you leading this and champion this cause, man, we're good to go. God bless you, your staff, and you keep up the great work we are doing, Mr. Said, to make this country a better place.
Thank you, my friend. Trinidad and Tobago Taxi Driver Network is urging the government to not scrap the demerit point system, but to restructure the system. Your bulb blow, you have to pay a fine, and you get a demerit point, or 2 or 3. So you, the driver, are being penalized not once, but 2 times. 2 times. You're getting demerit point for any and everything on your vehicle. The merit point system in Trinidad and Tobago is in no way helping the drivers. You want to know what it is doing? It is causing an agency to make millions of dollars. Number one, when you get a ticket, you have to pay a ticket. On top of that now, you're getting the merit points. Is that okay with you? Is that okay with the taxi drivers in Trinidad and Tobago? Because I am not a taxi driver. I am not a taxi driver. And I got a ticket for illegally overtaking on the left when I was in a 2-lane heading north. And I got 3 demerit points. On top of that, getting the 3 demerit point, I had to go and pay $1,000. So I was penalized twice for what? Doing the correct thing. I was heading north. 2 2 lanes heading north. I got a ticket from a policeman for illegally overtaking on the left. How the mother in hell you could illegally overtake on the left when the 2 lane heading north? I had to pay $1,000. On top of that, I got 3 demerit points. So I want this taxi network to tell me how the hell this helping them. I am not a taxi driver, you know. I was driving a van when I got this ticket. I am not a taxi driver. I have heard taxi drivers complaining about the demerit point system. Scrap the entire thing. Because of the fact, I'll tell you this, when you accumulate, I believe it's 14 demerit points, your license are being suspended, which the courthouse cannot do nothing about. They're suspending your license. The courthouse cannot remove a demerit point. You understand? They cannot remove the demerit point. License office itself cannot remove the demerit point. So I side was like a dung mux. A dumb mux. Had to pay a $1,000 fine, and on top of that now, I have 3 demerit points on my license. For what? For what? Nobody can answer that. The judge cannot remove the demerit point, and licensing cannot remove the demerit point system. So I now, like a big Duncy head dodo, got 3 demerit points on my license for doing the correct thing. Let me tell you something. You know how much drivers in Trinidad and Tobago got their license suspended because the courthouse cannot do nothing about it? President Adrian Acosta stated that reckless drivers should still face points added to their driver's permit. Is it helping? It is not helping. It is not helping. Listen to this.
We don't mind that the points staying on the dangerous driving, running shoulder, breaking red light, or driving under the influence of alcohol. We will support that, right? We will support that the demerit points stay on those things. But the rest of things, we pray that they scrap all the other points from those other charges. We believe that it is very burdensome on the driving population of Trinidad and Tobago and taxi drivers by extension.
Let me tell you something. That dude, I understand how the demerit point system working, you know. I didn't do anything and I got 3 demerit points. Nothing. I got that for free. However, he said, tickets for minor infractions like cracked windscreen, a blow bulb were unfair, but we know this. So let me tell you something. Scrap the entire system. The demerit points is causing an institution to make millions of dollars that is in no way going to the government. You know how much people called in this program live and complained about the demerit point system? You know how much people? Call a good night.
Good night. Saieed, I want to agree with you with that capping of that demerit point system, because you get penalized 3 times, not twice, because the people who lose their license are going to pay $2,500 to arrivalize people, and then you still have to go and tell me you have to get $500 to renew your license. So why you must penalize it 3 times for 1 infraction? You have to pay the fine, you're getting demerit point, plus you have to pay $2,500 to get back to do a course. All that is unfair to people. When they think people have money, just put it train on they know what to do with the money. That's unfair to the people. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now listen to Trinidad and Tobago. Previously, Arrive Alive President Sharon Ingridfield also called for the government to scrap the demerit point system. Sharon believes the system is too vulnerable, a tool in deterring errand drivers to toss out instead. She said shortcomings should be assessed and improved device. Listen to this.
We really do hope that she takes into consideration the data supporting the fact that we need to ensure the drivers who are breaking the law, I call them reckless drivers, who are breaking the law, and who are making poor choices, understand the consequences of their actions, which is lives lost.
Trinidad and Tobago, scrap the system. I have no idea of who actually came up with this idea. Trust me. Now, currently on the Arrive Alive website, there is a driver rehabilitation course that is provided to a person at a cost of $1,300, $1,350. Imagine that, eh? This course is taken by persons who have met the maximum threshold of the merit point and is designed to encourage traffic offenders to take responsibility for their actions as drivers and change their attitude and behavior towards safe road practice. Let me tell you something. Safe road practice have nothing to do with getting a point. You got a ticket, you got a point. It doesn't matter how much ticket you get, that's the amount of point you're getting. But you know what's the sad thing about it? When you're done get your ticket, you had to pay it. And when you pay your ticket, you're still ending up with demerit points. So what is the use? You're penalizing us 2 times? No, it makes no sense. When you go to court now, you have to pay your ticket and you still end up with the points. So why are you suffering the drivers of Trinidad and Tobago, the Duncy head person who brought this in? How much money did you make for the government? What was your cut? How much drivers had to leave what they're doing to find something else? How much vehicles had to park down? How much families suffered through this? Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, there's lots more to talk. Like the distribution of 100 tons of rice seeds to farmers after this.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Real Talk viewers. So we're talking plantain rice in Trinidad and Tobago. Bringing back the lagoon rice, as we should say. Now listen to this. In light of the notable decline in domestic rice paddy production from 2014 to 2023, the Agriculture, Land and Fisheries Ministry has distributed 100 tons of rice seed to 37 farmers across Trinidad and Tobago for the 2025 planting season. Agriculture Minister Ravi Rathiram stated the distributed seed sourced from the Corporate Republic of Guyana comes as part of a $2 million allocation by the ministry to revitalize local food production. Now, the seed are expected to support the commercial planting of approximately 2,000 acres of land.
This includes the procurement of 100 tons of high-quality rice seeds for the 2025 planting season from the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, support for the commercial planting of approximately 2,000 acres across Trinidad and Tobago, field levels investments in access roads, drainage, irrigation, and on-site technical support. And I'm sure the farmers will love to hear this one, addressing the land tenure and land security issues that farmers are facing.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the ministry seeks to do just the thing. Using the $2 million allocation to invest in access roads, drainage, irrigation, and on-site technical support, and addressing land tenure and land security issues that rice farmers are facing. Now, Rathiram also assured farmers of continued support to ensure that this project produce outcome that drives the advancement of the agriculture sector. Listen to this.
Our officers will continue to work alongside you to ensure that this rice program delivers not just activity, but outcomes. More acreage, higher yields, better margins, stronger communities, and yes, greater national food security for all of Trinidad and Tobago. We must reach a point where local rice is not just the exception on the shelf. It is the standard on the plate.
Now viewers, meanwhile, former Minister in the Agriculture Ministry, Avinash Singh, has welcomed the distribution of seed from Guyana by the ministry. He said the distribution happened because of the work done by the former PNM government to improve the agriculture sector. The MOU, which was signed in July 2022 in Guyana. Imagine this, Trinidad and Tobago, they signed a memorandum of understanding quite in July 2022 We in May 2025. Look at the span. Almost 3 years. Almost 3 years it took to get rice seed from Guyana to Trinidad. Apart from rice collaboration, would also be an exploration of livestock and coconut production. Maybe some fish pond. Maybe some fish pond. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, 2,000 acres of rice land will be planted with 100 ton of rice. So hopefully, not too long from now, we will have rice, probably to cut the importation of rice to Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago are investigating the circumstances surrounding the beating of 2 adults by students of the Mason Hall Secondary School. The incident occurred on Tuesday outside the school and has gone viral on social media. Viral footage shows a woman believed to be a student mother arguing with a male student. The confrontation turned violent when the student began hitting and kicking her. A man with her was also attacked and several students joined in. So to the Ministry of Education, I would like you all to suspend every student that was involved in this fight. Firstly, Trinidad and Tobago officer Brandon Roberts called the incident troubling and said it highlights the urgent need of discipline and conflict resolution in schools. Listen to this.
The fixing of the overall problem of the violence and indiscipline in schools. I know the division would say the different things that they are doing since I would have reached out publicly for collaboration. However, we are looking at how effective those things are. So whether we are having child-friendly school initiatives and so on.
So I would like now the Education Minister suspend them. Fighting is not part of the school curriculum. It is not even PE, as we would say. Did somebody slap you, you jump in a fight? Because of your foolishness and lack of understanding, and nobody didn't hit you, and you just jump in just so you will find yourself home being suspended from school. That will get some sense into children's head. If nobody ain't hit you, what you jumping in for? To actually get your eye dig out? Or 2 teeth knock out? Or to be beaten unconscious? Because of the fact that you are fast. Suspend them. Suspend every individual that was involved. It's simple as that. It is not hard. Is the school allowing bullies to come in and be among the rest of students that actually wants to take their education serious? So let's hear now Trinidad and Tobago in the coming days what the new minister, I believe it's Michael Dowlett, have to say concerning school bullying. Because leave it to me, every single night I will highlight suspend student that is causing fight in school. Suspend bullies. Now listen to this. Mr. Roberts said, special attention is needed at Mason Hall in order to deal with the issue. Special attention? Boy, let me tell you something. It don't have thing where they call special attention. You're going to school to get an education. It's two things. It's either you go to school and be a student of the school, or you go to school and look for fights and look to bully children, and whatever consequences come your way, you deal with it. It do have something they call special attention. Hence the reason why the school system, there are bullies in school, and it is continuing. You know why? The principal, the teacher, the ministry choose to what? Turn a blind eye. Until somebody children are dead in school. And the parents of that dead child go back to the students and the family. Then the ministry will get in. I just always say this on TV. Come wrong, my son. The police can help you, you know. The ministry can help you, you know. I let you know one time. They can't. Because your son ain't going in a boxing ring. He ain't going in a wrestling ring. He is going to school just as my son to get an education. And you decide to bully him. Trust me. This is a jetness that cannot be tamed no matter what. Me asking, I'm telling you. Also, tutor officials met with divisions of education on Tuesday to discuss the number of issues plaguing Tobago schools. Listen to this.
It's only especially that secondary school especially. We need to get special attention there. Another division said they will be working on a particular project at this for that school, but it is urgently needed. And in the meantime, our parents need to get a hold of the children that they are sending to our school, causing all manner of problems. For this, we would have raised some of the concerns to which the division will have put forward some of the things that they are trying, and the increased efforts that are to come in the very near future. So, but however, my concern is not because we are doing things new, we're getting things done, and who are we really impacting by these initiatives. So we cannot have the children, because the children who are giving no end of worries, they are known.
You know, a couple of years back, they had something they call YTC. I don't know if you all remember that. When your student or the child decide to play, you know what? I am 19 years and I could do what you want, and I could go here and I could go there 30 years, only 13 and 14. But you want to play over 18. Police make a report in the station, the officer come, they pick you up, you want to play this, that, the next, they send you YTC. Spend some time inside. You want to be a bully? No problem. Go among bullies and see what it's like. Does that still exist? No, they scrap that. So a bully in a school, bullying children, and then you come out back to do what? Nah man, fix the problem. Fix the problem. Trinidad and Tobago. Officers of the Western Division Gang and Intelligence Unit seized 1,000 rounds of 9mm ammunition and arrested one suspect during an intelligence-led operation in Port of Spain on Wednesday. Congratulations to the officers and also congratulations to the intelligence officers that led this operation. The exercise took place in the vicinity of Nelson Street Girls Primary School. Police officers. The police service say the officers received intelligence that led them to intercept a white Nissan Frontier. That's a van. A detailed search of the vehicle resulted in the discovery of 1,000 rounds of 9mm ammunition concealed in a cardboard box, a quantity of cannabis, undisclosed sums of United States and Trinidad and Tobago currency. A 40-year-old man was arrested and transported to the West End police station. The vehicle also was impounded there for safekeeping and further inquiries. Trinidad and Tobago, I'll tell you something. We as a people, we as a country need to come together. As I say, If the police officers in the community were taking care of the community and eradicating the bandits and eradicating the one that wants to call shots and eradicating the big boys that is so untouchable, we wouldn't have reached in this stage where we are today. We would not. But they say the kingpin run the town and the country is afraid of the kingpin. Who is the kingpin? The kingpin is an individual, a human being, who is untouchable as we would see. But I'll tell you something. Everything that flies high have to come down. You will take a plane from the ground of a runway. It will go miles and miles and miles in the sky. But it also needs to come down. For those of you who understand that, you will understand what I am saying. We need to come together as a community. You want to change the schooling? Put things in place for bullies. You want to get rid of the marijuana and the cocaine in the community? The police officers have to make sure it's safe. You want to fix the hospital? The ministry have to make sure that the hospital is well equipped. So as I see, there's a new government in town, new sheriff, as we would say, new ministers. So we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt of getting acquainted with the various ministries, the various people, the various documents, the allocation, to see how best we could go forward. And like I said, Trinidad and Tobago, I will be keeping an eye. I will update you in things as we go along, because I am for betterment of Trinidad and Tobago. Remember that. So viewers, again I would say, Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. We offer the highest interest rate in Trinidad and Tobago. We offer upfront interest. Real Talk Financing also, we lend loan. You're looking for cash borrow, it's not a problem. It is not a problem. House, land, gold, vehicle, make sure you are not owing or have a debt on any one of these items that you are using. Call our office, set up an appointment, and come on down. So viewers, it's that time now where I must say good night until we meet again. Be safe.